The governor of Michigan used to work for George Soros. Who's the governor of Michigan? Think about it. California Governor Gavin Newsom is Nancy Pelosi's nephew. Just bear me out. Keep coming with me. Adam Schiff's sister is married to one of George Soros' sons. Who George Soros? He hates the United States. He wants to turn the United States on its head. He put all of these progressives in office. He votes strictly Democrat. He supports strictly the Democratic Party. And he hates the United States. He said it. He hates us. John Kerry, we know who he is. Forget that guy. His daughter is married to a mullah's son in Iran. His daughter is married to a mullah's son in Iran. Understand the connection that I'm making here. These are all facts. I'm not making this up. ABC News executive producer Ian Cameron is married to Susan Rice, Obama's former national security advisor. You want to see the deep state? You want to see the mafia? You want to see how this all pulls together? You want to understand why certain things have happened in this country over the past several years? Keep listening. CBS president David Rhodes is the brother of Ben Rhodes, Obama's deputy national security advisor for strategic communications. So ABC News and CBS News both have people at the high level that were connected to Obama and the Democratic Party. ABC News correspondent Claire Shipman is married to Jay Carney, who is the former Obama White House press secretary. Look at the connection. Look at the mainstream media. Look at the deep state that we're talking about. This is mafia. This is all about control. Got to give them credit. They've done it right. ABC News and Univision reporter Matthew Jaffe is married to Katie Hogan, who is Obama's former deputy press secretary. Look at the connection here. Look at how it's all coming together. ABC President Ben Sherwood is the brother of Elizabeth Sherwood, Obama's former special advisor. Who do you think's calling the shots here? You know darn well Biden wasn't calling the shots. You know darn well Kamala Harris isn't calling the shots. And you know what I heard today? Somebody said it's okay. We hate Trump so much we don't want him to be president, and we know Kamala Harris is incompetent, and we know she's not in control. This was a Democrat saying this, but it's okay because she'll send representatives. Obama's really pulling the strings. You know, they'll fix it. If they have to go meet with Putin or they have to go meet with China or Iran, they'll send somebody in her place. They're admitting she's a puppet, and they're admitting that they know it, but they hate Trump so much, a guy that's capable, that they'll vote for her anyway. These are the people that we have. Understand, CBS, ABC, all in the pocket of the Democrats and George Soros. CNN, Vice President Virginia Mosley is married to Tom Nides, former Hillary Clinton's deputy secretary. Why are they hiring all Democrats? Why are they hiring all people that are related to the Democrats and none to the Republicans? Think about it. Mafia? You bet. All about power and control. They've been installing these people. They've been controlling the media. This is what it's all about. Let's keep going. This is what you call a stacked deck. If you had a hunch the news media was somehow rigged and you couldn't put your finger on it, this might help you solve the puzzle. Now you know why no one is investigated. They all have their hands in the cookie jar. You might remember James Comey, remember? Head of the FBI, who investigated the Clinton email scandal and the Clinton Foundation, and made the final decision to not recommend prosecution by the DOJ. Well, listen to this. It turns out that Clinton Foundation was audited by the law firm DLA Piper. One of the executives there was in charge of the Clinton Foundation audit. Who was it? Peter Comey, James Comey's brother. Why wasn't she investigated to the full? Why wasn't she indicted? She should have been indicted. She obstructed justice. We know that. We know that there was bribes coming into the Clinton Foundation, but James Comey's brother was in charge of the investigation. This is mafia, people. Take my word for it. And it only gets worse. It gets worse. This family tree will make your head spin. The swamp is deep. And yeah, I wrote this all out. The swamp is very deep. And this was sent to me, and I just re-edited some of the things so that I can make it simpler for you to understand. All right, but this is what you got here. This is the real mafia. It's why I wrote the book. I saw this years ago, people. You got to give the Democrats smart. They did the right thing. They weren't as underhanded as the Republicans. And I'm not saying Republicans are lily white. I'm not saying they're perfect, but they don't match up with the Democrats' strategy because they're underhanded. They'll stop at nothing. They don't care about violating the law. They installed all of their people in the right place. We used to do that too in the mob. Put our people in the right place in the union so that we can control them. Get our people close to government officials so we can control them. This is exactly a mafia democracy. This is what I'm talking about. Listen to this. Dominion. Remember Dominion? There was controversy about them. They're the voting machine provider. They serve 40% of the U.S. market. It's in 30 states. The state of Texas rejected the machines, and they did that for a reason. Admiral Peter Neffenger is on Biden's transition team. Neffenger was president of the board of Smartmatic. Watch the succession here. Smartmatic, another voting machine supplier, entered into an agreement with Dominion in 2009. Peter Neffenger, he was on Biden's transition team. He's part of Smartmatic, and now Smartmatic enters into an agreement with Dominion in 2009. Smartmatic counted votes in Venezuela. Smartmatic is connected to the Philippine voter fraud. Remember that whole incident? Voter fraud in the Philippines. Dominion, Smartmatic. Smartmatic is run by Lord Mark Malloch Brown, who works for George Soros. Here we have Soros again, pulling the strings in the background, putting things into place. This is mafia stuff, without a doubt. He and Brown are lifelong friends. George Soros and the guy who operates Smartmatic, Mark Malloch Brown, are lifelong friends. Brown chairs the board of a number of nonprofit board foundations, including the Open Society Foundation. Brown chairs the Center for Global Development. Open Society, of course, is owned by who? George Soros. Look at the connection here. Look at the connection with the media. Look at the connection now with these voting machines where we had controversy. Remember Trump complaining, people complaining in Arizona that the Dominion, there was something wrong there? Who controls this? Listen closely. Smartmatic partnered with DLA Piper Global. Douglas C. Emhoff, who is that? The husband of Kamala Harris, works at DLA Piper Global. So now you got a connection to Kamala Harris with the voting machines. Douglas C. Emhoff, of course, Kamala Harris's husband. Guess who owns Dominion? Blum Capital Partners. Guess who is on the board for the company? Richard Blum. Guess who Richard Blum is? Dianne Feinstein's husband. Do you see how this all ties together to the Democrats, all the progressives? You have people in government in the Democratic Party that were controlling the outcome of Hillary Clinton and other things. And now you have the voting machines, Dominion, that surfaces 40% of the country is all tied up with the Democrats. And we have controversy about all of these things. Richard Blum is Dianne Feinstein's husband. Nancy Pelosi's husband is also a major investor in the company. Nancy Pelosi, she despises Donald Trump. Despises him. Her husband is on the board, controlling Dominion. An aide to Nancy Pelosi, Nadim El-Shami, was hired by Dominion Voting Systems. Well, it was an aide to Nancy Pelosi. They're not hiring Republicans. They're not hiring people close to Trump. They're hiring all Democrats. This is mafia stuff. It's all about control. And look at the control that they are having now. And it goes on and on. Dominion Voting System is listed on the Clinton Foundation website. Dominion Voting is listed as a $25,000 to $50,000 donor to the Clinton Foundation in 2014 by the Washington Post. I mean, it goes on and on and on. You must remember the Feinstein, Kavanaugh, Soros connections to understand this next information. Deborah Katz, who was Christine Ford's lawyer, remember? She was the one that made the allegations against Kaufman. Remember that. She worked for George Soros at the Open Society Foundation. Her lawyer, Christine Ford's lawyer, the one that made the whole stink and falsely accused Kavanaugh, okay, her lawyer worked for George Soros. Kamala Harris, listen to this, did not prosecute One West Bank for their fraud when she had the authority to do so, and Soros owned One West Bank. Do you see how this is all tying together? I can go on and on and on. But now you know why a woman who placed seventh, she placed seventh in her own state when running for vice president, is now the vice president and now the Democrats' nominee for president after overthrowing Joe Biden. But these same people who are all corrupt will tell you Trump is the problem. He's the liar, he's the felon, and that he's a threat to democracy, and mean tweets have upset you,